Taste preferences are a fascinating component of human diversity, interwoven with our biology and culture. From a love for spicy food to a predilection for sweets, our individual taste adventures are guided by a complex interplay of genetics and environmental influences. In this exploration, we'll unpack why each of us has a unique palate and how our genes and upbringing shape our culinary inclinations. The genetic blueprint of taste. Our ability to perceive taste is primarily a biological process. It is rooted in our genetics, which dictate the structure and function of our taste receptors. Humans typically categorize taste into 5 basic types: sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami, savory. Each of these tastes is detected by specific receptors on our tongue. Genetic variations can significantly impact these receptors. For instance, the TAS2R38 gene provides instructions for making a protein that's involved in the detection of bitter tastes. Variations in this gene can make certain compounds taste more or less bitter to different people, influencing whether they enjoy foods like Brussels sprouts or dark chocolate. According to research, about 25% of Americans are super tasters, a term used for individuals with a heightened sensitivity to bitter flavors, largely due to their genetic makeup. Besides bitterness, the preference for sweetness also has a genetic component. Research from the Monell Chemical Senses Center suggests that a preference for high sugar and high fat foods can be partially inherited. Similarly, scientists have identified genetic markers associated with the sensitivity to umami, which can affect one's preference for foods rich in glutamate, like tomatoes and certain cheeses. Cultural cookpot: how environment seasons our tastes. While genetics lay the foundation for our taste receptors, the environment, primarily culture, spices up our taste preferences. Cultural influences start affecting our food choices from a very young age. Dietary habits are often passed down through generations, steeped in tradition, and often associated with social and familial bonding. Cultural factors can dictate the availability and variety of foods introduced during childhood, which is a critical period for developing taste preferences. If a child is repeatedly exposed to certain flavors or types of cuisine, they are more likely to enjoy and seek out those flavors later in life. For instance, someone raised in coastal regions of Japan, where seafood is prevalent, may develop a taste for sushi and seaweed, whereas an individual brought up in Mexico might prefer corn-based dishes with a spicy kick. Furthermore, the preference for spiciness is often acquired and depends on consistent exposure. A study highlighted that countries with hotter climates tend to have spicier cuisines, partly because spicy foods may help cool the body by inducing sweating. Cultural celebrations and customs also give certain foods positive emotional connotations that can shape preferences. The positive memories associated with holiday meals or the comfort of a dish enjoyed with family can create a lasting preference. A melting pot of influences. Our taste preferences are a melting pot of our genetic makeup and the cultural environment we are immersed in. From the genetic variations that affect our taste receptors to the cultural contexts that introduce and reinforce certain flavors, our cravings and aversions are as unique as our fingerprints. Taste preferences evolve over time, influenced by exposure to new foods and changes in health or lifestyle. They can also be shaped by social interactions and media. As globalization increases, exposure to international cuisines broadens our culinary horizons, potentially altering our taste preferences further. In conclusion, the question of why we have different taste preferences is answered by looking at the confluence of our biological wiring and the rich tapestry of cultural experiences. Both play pivotal roles in shaping the diverse culinary landscapes that we each, in our own way, love to explore.